Hey everybody, welcome back to the Market Interest, where we talk stocks, finance, in the markets. Elon Musk just bought, nearly 10% of Twitter the other day, and holy smokes, that stock popped. It was up nearly 30% within one day. Now today, day after he made that announcement, it's up another, at this point in time, about 2.5%. So the market is moving, and everybody's asking, should I buy into Twitter? Should I buy into Twitter? And, that's a really tough question to answer. Everything Elon Musk touches seems to turn to gold. So it's really intriguing. I'm not sure if this is a great investment or not, but shoot a comment down below. Let me know if you think this is going to take off or not. What I'm going to do today is at least do a dive into the details, some of the fundamentals here, and let's see if it makes sense for, a value investor like Warren Buffett, or maybe a growth investor like Elon. All right, let's check it out. All right, so let's start off by just looking at some of the basics of Twitter. Market cap of $31.5 billion. So pretty, good size company right here, guys. Currently, the stock price is at $51 and some change. If we look at their 10-year performance, so if you bought this stock 10 years ago, or just under that, because I don't even think they're 10 years old, just under that, you would have had 14% return, which is not something you would have enjoyed. You could have bought anything last year and made 14%. So you'd be pretty disappointed over the 10-year performance. If we're looking at, let's say, a 5-year return, then that's something different. Then you have a close to 250% return within a 5-year period, which is extremely strong. But this company has had troubles in the past in terms of generating revenue and profits, and making it appealing for investors to come in and make a return. Like other tech stocks this past year, guys, or so far, let's just say over the 1-year period, most tech stocks had a really big hit in the beginning of the year. And now obviously Twitter has recovered, and they're up nearly 20% year to date, which again, that's awesome. That's great. That's beating out a lot of the other tech stocks, that's for sure. Over a 1-year period, you're down 20% though, over 20%. So you can see that there's a lot more volatility within this stock, something that you should be aware of. The company has an earnings per share of 83 cents, 0.83. On a $51 stock, that's not a whole heck of a lot. Their price to earnings multiple is 60. So that's really high, even for a really aggressive growth company, guys. That's something you really should be aware of. Is the multiple is out of control. The average S&P 500 forward multiple is between 16 and 17. I mean, even with some of the really big tech companies and having inflated multiples, they were up closer to 30. So this is double that. This is up to 60. So really high multiples, something that investors should be aware of. You should be cautious when you're investing into a company like this, when the bottom line financials don't seem to be matching up with the valuation. They have a little bit of a short interest here. Looks like 5%. You know what? Here's the thing, guys. When Elon Musk gets into a company, everybody wants to be a part of it. Elon Musk, we all know he's a market maker. He moves markets. He really moves markets. So it's exciting to see or hear him be interested in investing in a company like this, especially because there has been so much censorship all over the place within all these social networking companies. And that's something that he really stands up for, is, freedom of speech, and he doesn't want people to be censored. So I can respect that. So it's pretty exciting to see him take a large stake, such a large stake, the largest stake in Twitter. But where do we go from here? As an investor, especially if you're like a retail investor, what do we do from here on out? Is this a stock where we could be getting into this for some longer term appreciation? Are we just trying to trade this on some short term momentums? A lot of different approaches you could take to investing in this stock. Let's just take a peek at some of their fundamentals. So let's start off, just jump into their profitability. Doesn't look like they're the most profitable company. Their gross profit margin is good, 64, 65%, compared to a sector median of 51. So that's not too bad on the top line. If we jump down to the bottom line, though, it's a D-. Sorry, so they're actually losing money. They really not the best. Let's see how it's been over time. Yeah, so they haven't been profitable all that much until 2019. It looks like they were. right before an election, a lot of people are on Twitter at that time. So yeah, it was definitely more profitable in terms of their net margin a couple years ago. But right now, I mean, they've been negative since, 2020. They've been negative. So yeah, that's not attractive. Let's look at their valuation. It's just horrible. They've got a D, overall grade. Their multiples don't make sense. As somebody who is looking at more of the fundamentals, hey, Warren Buffett type style, this is garbage. This is a garbage stock. For somebody who believes in entrepreneurs and understands that investing and running a business is just much more different than just looking at ratios and financial ratios and all these different metrics, then there could be something here, guys. There really could be something here, because Elon Musk, you guys know, he's an entrepreneur. He's run multiple companies, PayPal, obviously Tesla, SpaceX. He's got, and more companies besides that, guys. So he's the type of guy that makes things happen. He really is an entrepreneur that makes things happen, and he's been in really tough positions. He's worked with companies that were in really bad positions. Just think about Tesla, 5-6 years ago, guys. They weren't doing well. They were on the brink of bankruptcy, and he turned that around. It takes time, takes capital, takes investors to believe in them, but it can happen. You can turn things around. So if you're the type of person, again, if you're more like Warren Buffett, stay away from this stock. But if you're somebody has a lot of faith within Elon Musk and his management and different ideas that he has, then this could be a really good opportunity, I think, to buy it more on the bottom line on the bottom end of things. One metric that we really want to look out for are how many daily active users Twitter has. I jump on Twitter, handful of times throughout the week. Definitely not a daily user. Maybe once, twice a week, if that. So not all that often. And it looks like Twitter, the way that they're measuring things, at least, is number of monetizable daily active users. So we're looking at 217 million users, which is a lot of users. But if you take a look at Facebook, they've got, almost 2 billion active users, daily active users. So completely different ballpark here, completely different. But if you think, hey, Twitter is a good platform, I like to, check out the news or be social on there, and you now think that they have some potential to get even close to Facebook, well, then there's room to grow. If Twitter's at $51 and Facebook is at $234, there's some pretty good room to grow if you think that there's any opportunity for them to get close to Facebook's level. I think that's a stretch. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but you never know. You never know with Elon. You never know. So yeah, at this point, I really don't have any idea. I'm not buying this stock personally. I'm not buying it for any of my clients. But who knows? Flip a coin to see if this is going to be a good stock that you should have bought or not in the long term. I'll tell you what, I'm a huge fan and believer of Elon Musk. I think he stands up for a lot of really good things. He's got good values, great businessman, great entrepreneur, has vision. So I think that there's a huge potential with him backing this company, especially the largest, he's the largest independent backer. He's bigger than the other institutions here. So he's the largest shareholder within Twitter. So lots of potential right here. The fundamentals are garbage, so I'm not excited about investing in a company like this. I haven't made up my mind personally if I'm going to jump into it or not. I think I'm going to hold off for a little bit of time, see what happens in the next week or two. But yeah, in terms of the fundamentals, they don't make any sense. But in terms of being a believer in Elon Musk, hey, there's some really good opportunity here. So that's it for today, guys. Just a brief update. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date in terms of other stocks that I'm doing a little bit more of a deep dive analysis into. Hit the subscribe button there, and appreciate the thumbs up. And let me hear your feedback, guys. Let me hear your feedback. Shoot a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the stock. I'm really curious. Tell me if you think this is going to go, up to 60 in the next week. All right, that's it for today, guys. Appreciate your time. Catch you next week. What I want to do today is go over some of the details with Twitter, what some of their multiples are, some of their financials, and just do more of a detailed financial analysis of the company. And then you guys can determine if this is a good stock for you or not. If you want to stay up to date in terms of different stock analysis, if you want to stay up to date of different stocks that I'm, if you want to stay up to date and get the most relevant stock analysis, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and then go along on the like button. Appreciate it, guys.